Hi everyone, welcome to the weekly angel message. I'm Rachel Scoltock and it's Monday the 18th of March, and here I am with the angel cards ready for you to begin this week's angel reading. Hi everyone, as you come online. Sorry, I was just a little bit late. I changed my top. I'm such a girl. I wasn't wearing the right color, so I'm just checking that the battery's plugged in because, there you go. That's better. That's better. Hey, Natalie. Hi, Ida, Kathy, Kylie, Anita, Marcel, Janice. Hey, everybody. Oh, Marcel's really struggling. We'll send you light and love, Marcel. Maybe it's time to change your thoughts and change the energy. You know what? I had a little struggle this morning myself. I'm not pretending that I'm perfect. But because I'm a spiritual teacher and have been for a long time, I've got a lot more tools. And also I've worked on myself. I've had loads of therapy and loads of self-healing and contemplation. And I think when we have deep, dark places that we go, it's a sign that there is unhealed things inside of us that perhaps we've pushed away because we're too busy looking after everyone else. Maybe the pain comes up because it's time for it to go and time for it to heal and time for us to look at it in a different way. Hi, Patricia. Thank you so much. And Kylie, I'm looking forward to it too. Hey, Cheryl. Hi, Emily. So I was just talking about, somebody just mentioned that they're struggling today. And I was saying, I've had my struggles in the past, and I had a little struggle this morning because, I had some really full-on dreams last night, full-on nightmares, you might even say. And I know it's because I, sort of read about the stuff that's going on in Christchurch, New Zealand, or the stuff that had gone on, like what's gone on since the horrible thing, the horrible attack is actually beautiful. If you see some of the things that the Prime Minister is doing, some of the beautiful messages that are out there in internet land, and read about some of the people. Hi, Debbie, lots of love to you. And read about some of the people and how, the helpers, the people that were there, that like the man that ran at the attacker and chased him away, basically. So I realized this morning when I opened my bleary eyes that I tuned into that thread of violence and that thread of sadness and grief and horror. And, the horrible truth that there are so many people still in our world that do not believe in oneness and who are determined that there are others and that those others are wrong or threatening in some way. And hi, Joe. Hi, Geraldine. Hi, Cassandra. Thanks for being here. And when I woke up this morning after all my nightmares, I really did have a heaviness in my heart. And, I've been praying and asking God and the angels to help those people and to help the families and to help New Zealand, as a whole, all the people there, to heal and to find strength. And I know that they've got great strength, and everybody who's been affected by it. But I was also praying to ask for a positive perspective because I really did want to touch on that today. And I do think that as empathic light workers, as people who identify with a spiritual perspective, that we are all one in truth. It doesn't matter what color, what religion, what belief, what behaviors, what age. It doesn't matter what sexual orientation you are. At core, we are all one, and we're all the same. And we are all one race. There's no race. There's no races. There's just one race, the human race. And we are all one. And we have to get over this destructive perspective that other people are not the same, and that we should somehow attack them if they are. And it's something that feels threatening. And this is a very, deep fault in humanity. And so after my prayers, what I also decided to do after I did a bit of work was go for a walk. The sun's out today. It was pouring down yesterday. And went for a walk in the sunshine, went to the ocean, took a big deep breath, took in the salt air, grounded myself into here and now. And that's, if you're struggling in any way, whether it's about world events or whether it's about something going on personally in your life right now or something that has happened in the past that is still having an effect on you, do that. Do something to change the energy. Put some music on. Do a crazy dance around your bedroom or your living room. Do something. Do your chakra clearing. Do a meditation. Go for a walk. Take deep breaths. Do something to change the energy up so that you're not getting stuck. And then make a decision about what you want to do about the pain. Is it time for you to seek out healing of some kind? Is it time for you to make some shift in the way that you think and the way that you process things? Maybe you need to reframe things. All of that helps. And it's only when we reach out for help and we recognize that we're not alone that things can actually make a change and shift. So what I wanted to say today is that I'm surrounding any situation, whenever I hear anything on the news or otherwise, where there's people suffering and going through something terrible, my first instinct is to surround that situation with light, pray for extra angels to go there. And, one of the things I learned from Greg Braden, who's an amazing author, if you've never read any of his books, he is amazing. He's a great speaker too. Excuse me. He says when he sees something terrible, so in the context of seeing roadkill, when you see an animal that's been killed at the side of the road, it's quite heartbreaking. So as empaths, light workers, and people who are energy sensitive, we can really pick up on these energies, and it hits hard. But I don't think that that's something unusual. I think that's how humans are meant to be. And the people that don't feel that way, or people who feel the opposite way, they're the ones that are suffering from something. Something is wrong. Something is wrong if they haven't got sensitivity. For years, sensitive people have been told that we're the ones that are wrong. Oh, you're too bloody sensitive. Take a teaspoon of cement and get over it. All those kind of harsh comments. But actually, if everybody was sensitive, could things like Christchurch have happened? But that, I think, is also a madness too. So coming back to Greg Braden. Greg Braden makes a suggestion that when you see something traumatic or terrible, that you bless what has happened. So you bless the people or the animal that has suffered. Then you bless the person, this is the hard bit, you bless the person that harmed it. So in the case of a roadkill, you would bless the person that knocked the animal over. And then you bless yourself as the witness. And I think in today's world, social media has pretty much put everything in our faces, and television is becoming less and less kind of a safe place to be. If you are sensitive, it can be really, really difficult to observe some of the things that are even shown in quite early shows, of an evening. That's the thing to do, is to turn it off, move away from it, bless it, and then bless yourself as the witness. And when you bless yourself as the witness, you're actually surrounding yourself with light and acknowledging that it has had an effect on you. And then, we can decide what we're going to do about it. So one of the things I wanted to do about what I saw happening was just put out a plea, if you like. And I know everybody here is going to understand what I mean, but I think one of the faults of humanity, all of us, is that we can very easily go into judgment, right? It's one of our spiritual lessons. It's nothing to be ashamed of. But when we project judgment, we are acknowledging the ego separation, that we are separate from everybody else, and we are separate from that which we're judging, and that we are separate from God. So ego, fear mind, judgment mind, is a way to separate. So that can be handy, right? It can be really handy when you feel you judge something, because you might go, that person's sense of humor really grates on me, and I find it a bit much, so I'm going to flick channels, or I'm going to avoid going out for dinner with those people because they're quite often rude to the waiter or the waitress. And so we can sort of discern. We can go, don't like that, like that. But when our judgment turns into something where we feel threatened by, or we attack verbally or in our minds, judge and put down something or someone, or someone's beliefs, or someone's opinion, the way someone dresses, whether they choose to have, Botox or not, or how they wear their hair, how big their bum is, all of those things, that we've all kind of been fed really from all different ways. That's judgment too, and I think that's just as harmful as some, as other forms of judgment. And so I think we are challenged when we see how people can go a bit la-la about what they're judging, that it challenges us to go within and to start to edit our own reactions to the things that we judge, to really look at ourselves and our judgments and what triggers us, and to, rather than just attack it or make it something that is separate and wrong, is that we look at ourselves and try to heal that and get to a place where we can either just stay disconnected from it or bless it. Because, social media, I don't know if you notice this, like, it's so toxic nowadays. I'm so proud that my page is not toxic. There's nothing toxic that comes onto my page. And if even a tiny, weeny little bit of something happens, I just remove it, because I don't want that energy in my life or in our safe angel environment. So I think that we need to challenge ourselves, because we all have judgment inside of us. First up, to recognize it and notice what triggers us. And second up is to stop, breathe, and not go into any form of attack. And, that means that if someone is, ranting on the internet or putting a comment up that you don't like, you can say that you don't agree with something without denigrating the other person or attacking them or making them wrong or making them seem smaller. And especially if you've got any, hi Mark, nice to see you here, especially if you've got any sort of prejudices that you might have been raised with, or that have happened because you've been through a trauma, or that you've just kind of accepted because that seems to be the worldview, I ask you from my heart to start to challenge those prejudices, whether it's about men, women, gay people, people of a different culture, people of a different religion, people of a different color, and even if you do it in jest and with jokes, it's still not okay, because you're still coming from the ego fear mind, which, remember, is the part of you that believes it's separate from everything and from God. And when we're disconnected from everything and God, we cannot fail to feel that disconnection within ourselves. So whatever you judge will always come back at you. It will trip you up. You'll find yourself judging someone, then you'll go, ooh, hang on a minute, that's something I do or have done. And so when we bless people and we treat them with compassion and non-judgment, and even step away a bit and go, okay, I may not believe in what that person's saying, but I'm not going to rip them down. There's obviously something going on there. It could be a mental health issue. It could be that they're going to have to learn this so that they come out the other side. I mean, it's definitely not okay when people are violent. But I don't think it helps when there's this kind of ranting that goes on that I see. So that's my plea to you today, is to look within and see what is, if there's anything that you can sort of start to heal in yourself. Because when we're triggered by something, it's a sign that something needs healing inside of us. It's actually never about the other person. It's usually about us. Okay, we may have been mistreated, but we can deal with that part. Maybe we walk away. Maybe we have to do something about it, like prosecute, if it's really bad. But then we have to deal with our own stuff, and that's when we get triggered. So I'm going to pull some cards for you today now that I've stopped my little rant. How is everybody doing? somebody was saying that they felt a bit unsafe for being a fringe dweller. I'm not sure what you mean by a fringe dweller. Do you mean just like looking in on a situation where there's violence, Kylie, or do you mean being a person that feels excluded in some way? But when we feel unsafe, and we know all about angels because we're really lucky. Hi, Nectaria and Jenna. When we feel unsafe, we can call on Archangel Michael. And the reason that Archangel Michael's energy works for us is that he, his name means he who is like the divine, he who is like God, whatever your word is. And so Archangel Michael radiates this pure divine light. It's like, a million halogen lights or like a stadium light, So when he comes to you because you've invoked him, you say, Archangel Michael, please come and help me with this. Help me to deal with these feelings. Release me of this pain and this struggle. His energy, literally his presence, will sweep away the heaviness that's around you. And so if there's something for you to feel unsafe about, you're thinking, what's that noise outside? Is it a possum? If there's something for you to feel unsafe about, Archangel Michael will give you clear guidance that will help you to do the thing that you need to do to be safe. And if it's nothing to be afraid about and you're actually just, picking up on anxieties and sort of feeling fearful because there's been fear exposed to you, you will start to feel peaceful because Archangel Michael carries this high divine light with him. And, angels don't come from a religion. They're available to all of us because we are all one. We're all one. So Kylie says women who choose to have children without partners because they haven't quite found the right partner can't. A spokesperson for alternative lifestyle. Yeah, so I think that's where we're in the power in a way, Kylie, because alternative lifestyles are offering a different way of being. And so, in a way you can look at it like you're in the minority, and that means that you've got less power, but you could look at it that you've got power because you've got knowledge of something different and you're not affected by the majority mass consciousness way of thinking and being. And, it took me a few years to stop being so afraid of shining my light and talking about angels without, being afraid of being rejected, punished, looked down on. And even when I did, there were a few people who have done that. But look at me, I'm still here, and it hasn't affected me. In fact, it's taught me a lot. And I think by standing up and speaking your truth, in this day and age, we are safe for the most part, and we must do it because otherwise the other energy takes over, doesn't it? So keep asking for the Archangel Michael and keep staying in your power and telling yourself that you are safe, you're okay. And Debbie is from New Zealand. She said she's found it incredibly upsetting, had lots of nightmares too. Yeah, so work with Archangel Michael. We'll do a little healing in a second. I didn't mean to stay on so long, but I will. And we'll do a little healing, Deb. And Peter says she's feeling the energy of the supermoon that's coming, wanting to clean and clear out physically and energetically. Yes, yes, yes. That's great, Peter. Ooh. Okay, I'm shuffling and looking at the same time. All right, let's pull you a card. I've got the Archangel Michael cards here too. So maybe just sort of think to yourself, like, what's coming up for me? And what is it that I want to ask the angels? What is it? Angels, what do you most need me to know today? Because this is general, but it's also for all of you individually. And hold the light. Don't be frightened by the darkness because, in truth, in spiritual truth, read A Course in Miracles, start to boost your spiritual connection. In spiritual truth, fear is not real. Only love is real. And so it works in the way that when we start to believe that, it becomes the truth for you. So whatever you believe becomes the truth for you. And there's only two channels to tune into: the fear channel, hate, anger, self-doubt, lack of confidence, fear, negativity, judgment, resentment, unforgiveness. And then there's the love channel: forgiveness, peace, harmony, love, divine love, unconditional love, compassion, passion, enthusiasm, success, all of those energies. So when you're in the fear channel, you cannot hear or tune into the love channel. And when you're in the love channel, the same thing. So there's only two ways to think. So when you choose lack, scarcity, fear, drama, that energy will envelop you, and that becomes, it starts to become a pattern. But when you start to shift your mindset and recognize the spiritual truth, then that energy starts to dissolve and dissipate in your life. And it doesn't mean that loss doesn't happen. It doesn't mean that things don't happen in the world, but it means that you transcend and you can start to find solutions. There are no solutions in the fear channel because it's all about problems and blocks. So I'm loving all the hearts and the love hearts and everything. Hi, Glenn. Haven't seen you in a long time. Lovely to see you here. Sorry to point you out. So let's get to these cards. So the first card is Trust the Niggle. This is from Rebecca Campbell's gorgeous deck called Work Your Light Oracle Cards. It says, what is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? So isn't that funny that when we were shuffling, we were asking that, like, what is it that, what's coming up for you? What's coming up for you to heal? What thought won't go away? And what's coming up for you that needs to be brought into your life? What is it that you need to create? What is it that's calling you at this time? So the next card that we got was Lean on God and the Angels for Support. This is the Archangel Michael. Isn't that a gorgeous card? This is one of my older decks, Archangel Michael deck. And this is saying that when you're struggling with anything at all, especially with big issues like we've just spoken about, but anything, is to call in the angels, call in the divine, and lean on that energy. Surrender all of your struggles. Try to clean up your day a bit so that you haven't got so much pressuring you when you're feeling down, so that you're not going into stress as well, because it's really hard when you're stressing. That's another fear energy. And just really hand over everything to God and the angels and ask for the highest possible outcome. Your prayers do make a difference. If you're praying for other people, you're surrounding people with light, it really does make a difference. And so when you pray on behalf of yourself, you've got access to great light. You've got access to extra energy for you. And you're not supposed to be doing it all by yourself. You're not. The next card is to take your time making a decision. So again, I feel like the message this week is to slow down, is to not force, to not try to push through. Okay, I find with my work, 99% of the time, my work is a great way for me to be present, so that, if there's something going on in my life, it's going on in the background when I'm working, and I can tend to it later. But sometimes when you're exhausted or you're overwhelmed, or if I am, that 1% is, okay, I've got to clean up a few things and just maybe have a day off or lighten my load this week so that I can heal and focus on what I need to do to do it. So I feel like that's what the angels are saying to us. They're really asking you here to detach and step back. So minimize how much social media you're doing, minimize how much news you're watching. Don't dive into it, and kind of check out all of the things that you're letting go into your consciousness. So the books you read, the newspapers you're looking at, the internet, the social media, the television, that stuff can build up, and it can end up like a big black cloud over your head, all focusing on fear-based things. It might be fun, some of it, but some of it is just adding to the negativity. This card is absolutely perfect for you. Let go of fear now. Look at this beautiful picture. What does that bring up in you? You see Archangel Michael with his third eye glowing, the sword of light, which he uses to cut away cords and negative energies and threatening energies. And it's a card of power, and it's a card of remembering that you are safe, remembering who you are, remembering that you're not alone, that you have access to angels, and that you are connected to a higher divine intelligence. And, use your affirmations like all is well, I am safe, everything is working out for the highest good. And trust Trust in the higher power. Don't try to do everything by yourself. So that's the reading for this week. So I really feel like the angels are reaching out to you this week and giving you some protection and safety and some support. And you've also got a little bit of guidance here, which is about really tuning in to what's coming up for you at the moment. What's calling you? What's calling you, and what do you need to move out of the way so that you can? I love Cassandra's hashtag choose the love channel. Thank you, Cassandra. I love that so much. So I was going to do a little healing with you. Let's call in Archangel Michael. Let's call in Archangel Michael, and let's ask to be cleared of any fear, stress, negativity, any sort of irrational fears that come up, you know, and ask the angels to help us to reframe our own mindset so that we can contribute to that love channel. Because I really believe that the more people that are believing in light and power and love and angels and healing and whatever that is for you, you know, it's the less power the dark energy has. The only power it has is by putting fear in your heart and making you feel as if, you know, it's winning. And so, you know, how many people stay up all night worrying about things that will never happen? And that's the power of fear. And so if we turn our minds to positivity, love, healing, compassion, the sort of world we want to see, we create that in here. That's what we project out, and that becomes too strong for that fear to penetrate. And I think that's where we're all going, and that's really what the program that I'm teaching this starting this week is all about. It's about changing your mindset so that you can access miracles. That's really what it's all about. So, okay, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and relax. Relax your shoulders, feel your jaw relaxing. Another deep breath. You know, sometimes we don't breathe. And I'm going to ask for and invite the presence of Archangel Michael and his band of mercy angels. And these are the angels that help to remove pain, suffering, negativity, fear, all the dark energies from us and from the planet. And we ask that our guardian angels step forward. And I also ask for Archangel Raphael, the healing angel, Archangel Azrael, the angel that comforts us in times of grief. And we'll ask for Archangel Gabriel to help us with our life purpose and speaking our truth. So take a deep breath and see the angels gathered around you in a circle. You might just be aware of a light around you. And Archangel Michael is providing you with a bubble of light individually over you and over all of us. So you've got a light of protection over you, which is this violet color. And the one that is over all of us is a bright blue. And in the center of each bubble, in the ceiling, there is a gap through which all negative energy that you will release will go and be transmuted to the heavenly light. It won't come back. And it's a one-way doorway. Nothing can come in, everything goes out, right? So, Archangel Michael's standing with you now, and you might feel the heat, the warmth of his presence. And he's showing me his sword, and he's asking that you give to him any thoughts, fears, feelings that you've had about world news, media, particularly about what we've talked about today, the tragedies that happened in New Zealand. So take a big deep breath and ask to release any suffering, fear attachment that you have to that situation that may be limiting you in any way, shape or form. It doesn't mean that you don't care. It means that you're letting go of the fear, the pain, any energy that you've absorbed from watching, hearing about it, reading about it, so that it's no longer interfering with your light and your presence. And as you breathe, Archangel Michael is also sweeping down, and he's clearing you of any trauma energy from seeing it. There were some pretty awful things that were shown. So just, even if it's in your imagination, just let that go. Imagine it just being pulled out of your head like a bubble and just going up through the dome of light. And then breathe and release any other emotions that you have. That might be fear, anger, resentment, judgment, sadness, powerlessness, even guilt. And let it go. And as you breathe, see it all like little dark bubbles disappearing out from you. I want you to release any fear from anything else in your life that you might be holding on to. Guilt, sadness, anger, resentment. And as you breathe, releasing all of that, sending it to the light. If you've had nightmares or anything like that, just send those up too. And as I said at the beginning of this recording today, just releasing, and this is personal to you, it's totally up to you if you want to join in this. Releasing any judgment that you hold that may separate you from others, that it might be a sense of superiority, it might be a sense of feeling less than, it might be a sense of judgment about any kind of choices people make or where they're from. Just breathe and release judgment energy from your ego, the energy that comes from fear. And tell your angels that you're willing to release judgment from your life. And I don't want you to feel bad about this, because this is something that everybody goes through. Everyone goes through it, you know, and everybody feels it, but it's something that we can work on, right? So we're all human, but we're all kind of can fall down the same holes. So as you release all of that, send blessings, love, and forgiveness to yourself. And then let's surround that whole situation with light and send love and light to people in pain, people who are suffering, people who are grieving. And if you want to, you can see New Zealand blanketed in love and light and surrounded with angels. And take a deep breath, sending your prayers and blessings. And as you let go, you know, whenever we pray for anything or anyone, at some point we have to let go, because it's like posting a letter. You can't stand at the mailbox and just kind of not let the envelope go. So let it go. Let all of that go. Just send it up through the dome of light. You've done something really powerful. And then let's just set a clear intention for yourself today. Angels, please help me too. It's my intention. And come down to your base chakra at the bottom of your spine. Feel the red energy of your base chakra. And imagine it creating like a tree root that goes down through the earth into the center of Mother Earth. It's like a beautiful stream of energy that connects you into Mother Earth. And as you do that, you'll feel the connection with Mother Earth. It might be like a tugging sensation. You might feel boom, like yourself coming back into your body. And you might just feel a little sense of heat and connection. And then just breathe that earth energy up into your body. Well done, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Lots of love to you all, and keep shining your light. As I said before, my course starts on Tuesday, Rich Angelic Alchemy, and it's 6 parts, 6 weekly sessions, 90-minute group sessions. And I've actually got one place left on that